J-Mott here, Stretford, Paddock. This is the Everton Premier League preview. Joining me is my good friend, Alex Baggers. How are you doing, bro?
I am very good. Excited about the weekend.
Excited?
I wasn't going to be at about 93 minutes on Wednesday night.
Right.
But then that goal's just kind of a bit of a lift. Everyone's a bit excited. I'm ready for the weekend now.
Do you know what's ruined it for me, though?
What?
I've seen a tweet saying a stat that Ronaldo presses less than anyone in the Premier League.
Oh.
So that's ruined. That's ruined.
point.
That's actually ruined the Premier League trophies he won with us and the Champions League.
He's shitting it.
He is. And that Ballon d'Or.
Get rid of him.
Just go.
Doesn't press.
Just go, mate. He doesn't press as much as other players. So.
He scored a goal a game since he's been back for Manchester United.
Yes, but the press, Baggers, the press. That's what matters. Yes, enough of that nonsense. Anyway, though, obviously Manchester United hosting the Toffees, who are doing well. I think they're on the same number of points as us as well. We'll get to them in a minute. One player I want to look at is David De Gea. You mentioned the game against Villarreal there, that 95th minute winner from Cristiano Ronaldo. But for me, the man of the match was David De Gea. I thought he was superb, and he's been superb this season. And I remember me and you debating about 18 months ago, I think, and you were saying, David De Gea deserved more time, and you still had a bit of faith in him. And I was like, no, Dean Henderson's got to be given a chance now. And I'm happy to be proven wrong because I think David De Gea has been as good this season as he's been for a long time.
I think it's a combination of a couple of things. David De Gea, Ollie's spoke about him saying he's come back in, he's done extra work, he's done all those things on the training ground. He came back early from pre-season, even though he'd been to the Euros. He said, no, I've got to get in and get working. There's also Dean Henderson's not been fit, not been well. So it's kind of meant that it's had to be De Gea. There's not been a debate about it. And I don't think there is a debate now at this moment in time. David De Gea is fantastic. He did keep us in that game. It could have been, probably should have been 3 or 4-0 at half-time for Villarreal. He's kept us in the game. He did the great double save towards the end of the game as well, which gave us the chance to win it. And you're right, he's kind of stepped things up again, which is great to see. I think that we were right to question him a little bit. We were right to say, is it a time to move on? For me, it wasn't a case of he's past it and never going to get it back. For me, it was sort of the contract situation and all that. If he stayed any longer, that was it. He was going to stay at Manchester United for the rest of his career. And that means does that mean we're not going to have Dean Henderson? And are we going to be in the situation where we're panicking again for a goalkeeper when it comes to the end of De Gea's career? But I think now, to be honest, it doesn't matter. In the here and now, David De Gea is one of the best goalkeepers in the league, if not the most informed goalkeeper in the Premier League. So there's no debate about whether to drop him, keep him, whatever. He's staying as Manchester United at the minute.
It's a massive relief as well, isn't it? Because it's just an headache you don't want as a fan or I presume as a manager as well. It's like, who is your best goalkeeper? Ollie was saying we've got 2 number ones last season, which was a nonsense.
Yeah.
You don't have 2 number ones. It's the whole point of number one. It says it itself.
Yeah,
is it's the first choice. You can't have 2 of them. So it's like it's one less thing to worry about almost. Because if you look at our team, we've obviously got the holding midfield issue, but other than that, defence and attack especially, we're looking very strong. It's just that goalkeeper was something that was at the back of a lot of minds. Yep. But do you feel like now we can just move on from that, or do you think there is always going to be that case of if he has a bad game, Dean Henderson's waiting in the wings?
I think that the thing now will be, I don't think you're going to see De Gea get dropped at any point this season now. I think that he will be the number one. I think he's set that stall out. I don't think there's going to be that debate as there was next year. The question will be, towards the end of this season, into the summer, what is the future and how does Ollie or whoever's in charge or whatever's going on, how the club sees the goalkeeper situation? Is De Gea going to be there for the rest of his career, or are they going to at some point say no, even if he is at top of his game, cash in and bring Henderson in, cash in and go out and spend on someone else? That's going to be the debate. But at this moment in time, in terms of form and all that kind of stuff, you're right, there's no debate. He's settled the number 1 spot. That headache has gone from who do you play, is he the right man? De Gea's the right man at the minute.
Couldn't agree more. Just looking ahead to the game as well, the atmosphere at Old Trafford. Now, United fans in the past have had a bit of stick. The atmosphere at Old Trafford's had a bit of stick. But I think you've got to look at what's happened over the last since lockdown. And even before that, if you go back to the Derby game with Scott McTominay's winning, I know it's a Derby, so he's going to have a good atmosphere there. But I think the atmosphere at Old Trafford has massively improved. And I think the Villarreal game was testament to that. I thought the crowd were up for it and kept the team going as well. You could see the last 5 minutes, the crowd was non-stop. And I think the CRA have got to take a little bit of credit as well. The Red Army, you've got like a singing section there. They do things a little bit differently. For anyone who doesn't know, it's like a section of the Stretford end where you're encouraged to go there. You have to apply separately once you've got your ticket to go there. If you want to sing, if you're up for singing and standing and singing throughout the game and chanting and getting behind the team, they don't have filming. They encourage people not to film and use your phone. Just stand there and enjoy the game. And if you want to do that, if you want to take part in that, you can apply and be a part of that. And I think you've got to give them credit. You know, we've we've got experience of being a part of the TA and standing there ourselves and support what they do. And, you know, they choose to do it that way. They're saying, come and stand with us. Don't take photos. Don't stand there filming the game. And, you know, we don't use videos from the TRA. So it's like, okay, we get that. And if you don't want to do that, you don't go in the TRA. You can go and do something else somewhere else in the ground. But I think you have to give them credit because it has been a positive impact. And you can feel it, you can hear it, you can, you know, I've spoke to people who watched it on the telly. I was at the game myself, and I could. It was, you know, it was sort of thunderous, really, the atmosphere, and it felt like a good old-fashioned Champions League night at Old Trafford, despite the fact that a lot of the football wasn't great. And I think we have to give credit to the fans that are making that happen.
Absolutely, I think that. I've been to a couple of games this season, not a season ticket holder like yourself, but it feels like more of an occasion going again now. It feels like you want to be back in the ground. I went to the West Ham game, which in the midweek game in the cup, and usually that would be you'd have had 20, you had the stands closed and things like that because there weren't going to be people there. The place was pretty much full for a Wednesday night in the Carabao Cup, which never usually is. It still had a bit of an atmosphere in that game, but the rest of the time, the Premier League games, Champions League games have been absolutely bouncing. And that's, you're right, the TRA, the rest of the ground, it has lifted a bit. Whether that's a combination of lockdown and all that kind of stuff, it has been a lot better. I think it is the perfect storm of, you know, I went to games pre-lockdown. You're sitting there, and there's small sections of the ground that's singing, and the rest of it is quiet. Where it doesn't seem that way anymore. It has lifted the whole thing. That's the combination of come back from lockdown, the Ronaldo factor, everything. But even before Ronaldo, the Varane announcement kind of thing, the buzz around the stadium for that day was amazing. So I don't just think it's Cristiano Ronaldo coming back. I just think there is a bit more of a positive atmosphere, especially in the stadium, and the fans have done fantastically well. Yeah,
full credit to all the people that have been involved in that. Looking ahead to the Everton game in terms of predicted 11s, I can guess your goalkeeper. Who else have you got?
So this is my predicted 11. Back four, I think, pretty much picks itself at this moment in time. We've got Wan-Bissaka, Varane. Looks like Lindelof's going to be in there. Doesn't look like Harry Maguire's going to be fit. I was tempted by Eric Bailly just because of, you know, Calvert-Lewin has caused a problem. In fact, doesn't look like he's going to play, so I'm not sure. We need Eric Bailly in there. I think Lindelof's played well. And then Tellez. Delo's played at left-back. I think he had a poor game in midweek. I don't think he deserves the start.
I love Diogo Delo, but it wasn't his best game.
It wasn't his best game, and the attack's kind of down his side a lot, and I don't think moving him over to the left-hand side makes it any easier for him. So I think Tellez will get that spot. I've gone with Fred and McTominay in midfield. Oh my God. I think that people kind of, you know, we've tried this single pivot with Scott McTominay and Paul Pogba and Bruno, and it just doesn't work, I don't think.
Can we take pivot,
out of the
high press, XG while you're at it, out the back door and put two bullets between the eyes?
I've gone with, because I don't think Fred's very good. I don't think he's very good. But the sad thing is, we play our best football when Fred and McTominay play. And people can argue that or whatever. Yeah. I don't think you can play Matic and McTominay in there. I don't think you can play Matic and Van der Beek in there. I think that is the best foundation for the rest of it to go well. And I think that's going to happen. And I think you saw as well, one thing that happened in midweek was that the fullbacks got exposed because you didn't have Fred and McTominay. McTominay was getting over there, but was a bit late. Yep. You've not got the tracking back. Now, the big one I've kind of not got in this team is Paul Pogba, just because I want us to play with a bit more width and a bit more wing and try and stretch things a bit. I think Paul Pogba got to the point where he was undroppable at the start of the season. I don't think he needs to be dropped, but I think for this situation, you've still got Ronaldo. He needs to play. You've got Fernandes. Then I want players that are comfortable in the wide positions. Jadon Sancho and Mason Greenwood, I think are those at this moment in time. I can't wait to see Marcus Rashford back, because for me, I wanted to go Sancho on the right and Rashford on the left. That was what I want to do, but at this moment in time, we've not got those players fit. So I've taken Paul Pogba out. It wouldn't surprise me if Pogba starts over Sancho, but I want to see a bit of width, and I'm thinking Ollie might try it in this game.
I'm loving the leaderboard as well, the predicted 11 leaderboard. Myself there in first. That is a first, I think, for
averaging 6 a game.
Yeah.
What did I get?
You're averaging fourth. You're averaging 2. Hey. This is
Averaging 2. That can't be right. I've had two appearances and got 18.
Oh right, sorry. That's
9. I got 9 right in both. I should be top.
We'll work that out. It's it's early doors yet. It'll pan itself out. I'm just happy that I'm in first by default, or whatever it is. Even it's like when they do it alphabetically in Arsenal or whatever at first. Right, yeah, understand that. I think with a game like this as well, there is a little bit of leeway with Ollie in terms of who's being dropped and rested, because you've gone from an 8 o'clock kickoff on a Wednesday night to a 12:30 kickoff on a Saturday. So we could argue fitness and thing comes into it. It's not necessarily that you're dropping someone for tactical reasons. It's just because they might need a little bit of a breather or whatever, which could be the case if he does decide to rest Paul Pogba. Moving on to my team, quite similar. I think it's identical, back 5, sorry. I've gone for 4-3-3. I've gone with Matic in the holding midfield role, Pogba and Bruno in front of him. I've got Ronaldo on the left. He can play on the left. Don't kid yourself that he can. As the chant says. Cavani down the middle, I thought he was superb when he came on in that little cameo. Just gave us the lift. You talk about the crowd, getting the crowd going. He did that, chasing down what looked like lost causes, winning the ball back. And I think that if he hadn't come on, I don't think we'd get that last-minute winner. I just think his presence helped us get over the line. Mason Greenwood, who for me has been fantastic all season, I've got to hold my hands up. When he got subbed against Villarreal, I was fuming. I was incandescent with rage, I think is the term.
But with the other option was take off Cristiano Ronaldo.
And
that wasn't going to happen.
This is why I'm not manager of Manchester United Football Club. I sit on a YouTube channel talking about it.
Yeah.
So I'd keep Mason in on the right-hand side, as you've already mentioned that. And I just think we need to go for it. I think Everton, you can take the word low block as well out the back and put one between that eyes as well. But, they're going to defend, shall we say. How's about that one in numbers? So I think we need to get out quickly, get the crowd. You talk about atmosphere, get the crowd going. Let's not let this game settle into a sort of tedious, chess game where they're defending and we're struggling. It's just boring. Get at him, use the firepower of Ronaldo, Mason and Cavani, because they'll struggle to cope with that and get, hopefully, a comfortable win. Moving on to the Evertonians, the nicer part of Merseyside, shall we say?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. They've had, as I said, a decent start to the season under Rafa Benitez. They were fuming, weren't they, when he went there? The Evertonians. I've seen a lot of tweets like, what's going on here?
Yeah.
And when they got beat off us pre-season, that didn't go down.
That was it.
That was
Gone,
like I thought he was going to be the first manager to get sacked for pre-season. But they've had a decent start. I think they're on the same number of points as we are. You can see there from the run, a few wins and a couple of losses.
See, Villa's a tough game.
QPR's obviously in the cup. Yep, it is. Yeah, no one can beat Villa. I don't think anyone's ever beat Villa.
No, never.
So it's not the end of the world when you lose them. Just quickly on Everton, one player you mentioned earlier, Calvert-Lewin's out. One player that should be playing and is playing well is Damari Gray. I think he's got 3 goals in 6 games in the Premier League.
Yeah.
A player that's done all right for us. I think he's Leicester won it last time round. He's done a few. He's had a few good performances against us in the past. Is he someone you'd be wary of at all?
Absolutely. Benitez, you mentioned Benitez coming in, and he's a defensive manager. He's always been that. It was the same at Liverpool kind of thing. Yeah. But he's got signings in at Everton that I know what they're going to do. They're not star players. They're not, you've seen the players that they signed in the last few years. You've got James Rodriguez in, Allen, and they've got all these players, and they think, oh, this is amazing. Benitez going, we don't need that. We need players. I know what we're going to get. Damari Gray, I think they got him for £1.5 million off Leverkusen.
You can't even get you for £1.5 million quid.
No
nowadays.
chance. Like, it's ridiculous.
What is going on there?
Top signing they've got in, and he's got work rate. He's got a bit of quality. He's going to score him some goals, and he's done well. He's also brought in Andros Townsend, who again isn't the best player, but can score a goal.
You make a point there, because we were talking about this the other night at the game, and people were saying that Townsend, the way our fullbacks are playing, Townsend is a sort of, he turns up,
cuts inside and shoots. He does that a
lot.
lot.
Cause you issues, bro.
Yeah, and they're the kind of players. That's what Benitez has kind of brought in. He did similar things at Newcastle, where he said, "Look, I've not got a lot of money, so I'm just going to get players I know that are going to do a job for me." And I think that's what he's doing at Everton as well. Everton's an odd club in terms of where it sits. It's always been that bigger club, but in the last few years, it's not got the money to compete with the big 6 or the top 6 teams. They kind of been trying to get back in there. They did all the money under Ancelotti and stuff. It didn't quite work. I think Benitez is just kind of steadied things a little bit. I think they'll be in and around the top 6. It's one of those. It's another one of those games for Man United. It's been awkward. We've had a lot of these so far this season. West Ham, the Villa game, even Leeds before you go into it, where we should beat them. We were a better team than them, absolutely. But they're going to defend, and they're also a difficult team to play against. And it wouldn't surprise me if we drop points against them. But because we need to win these and, it's an easier run than everyone else. The pressure's on all the time. And I said, it's one of them. Everton, it is at home. We should win the game. But it's not going to be easy at all.
No, it isn't. Good. With that in mind, mate, give us your score prediction.
I'm going to go 2-1 United. I don't see us keeping a clean sheet, but I still think we've got, with Ronaldo there, I still think us scoring goals and I still think we'll get this win. I think we'll take the momentum, but I don't see it. Benitez isn't going to make things easy. It's not going to be turned over. I think 2-1.
2 United. I can see. I'm going to go for a 1-0.
1-0.
Yeah, I think they will defend, like you say, Rafa Benitez. I just hope we get. I was going to say hope we get an early goal, but then it's going to want an early goal in 80 minutes of panicking defending. I just thought we'd take the game to him, so I'll go 1-0. But get involved in the comments. Let us know what you think the score prediction is going to be. Let us know what you think the team is going to be as well. You've seen our predicted 11s. Do you agree with myself or Baggers? Don't forget as well, check out the merch, paddockmerch.com, so you can remember that one. We've got T-shirts, hoodies, long sleeve T-shirts for all your favourite players.
Kid stuff coming very soon. There's a link at the bottom says subscribe to it. We've got kid stuff coming soon, and also we've got mugs coming soon. If you put your email in there, as soon as they get on the website, I will email you and let you know that they are there.
He will. He's very reliable like that.
Yeah.
Don't forget as well to subscribe. Get us to 700k subscriptions. Come on, hit that subscribe button if you're not doing already. That's been Alex Baggers. Baggers, where can people find you?
Baggers_Alex on the social media platforms.
The social things.
Yes.
Yeah, you can find him on there. Don't worry, on Tinder and all that lot. And you know where to find me. I'm not on Tinder. I never will be. J Motti on your socials.
Find him on Tinder.
because my lady friend would murder me, and rightly so. This has been the Everton preview. That's been Alex Baggers. I'm J Motti. Thanks for watching.